Hello guys! In February 2025, it became obvious Russia had serious problems with their army. Those of you who follow the updates from the front lines might have noticed the number of their attacks dropped tremendously and the dates in contracts of Russian soldiers disappeared, all because no one wanted to join the Russian army. The money they were paying started losing their value, there was serious disappointment, and in reality they actually started sending conscripts. So Putin faced one of his greatest fears, to announce a new huge wave of total mobilization in Russia. This is another Russian hypocrisy. They totally support Russian war in Ukraine, but they don't want to fight this war. They like watching it from the internet and cheering for more war crimes. And when mobilization touches big cities like Moscow and St. Petersburg, Putin's regime is in great trouble. So somewhere in January, February 2025, it was obvious that Putin needs this huge mobilization. And he decided to mobilize Donald Trump. What we observe right now is this special saving operation of Russia from the White House. Something I could not imagine was possible, even understanding that Trump is anti-Ukrainian. And you know, today even the special military envoy of China commented that it was very disrespectful from the American side to exclude Ukraine and Europe from the potential future negotiations. So, with all this chaos, with all this disrespect and bullying, please let's focus on the real things, and that is the weakness of Russia and in particular of their military, not just economy. My name is Anna, I'm from Ukraine, I'm in Ukraine, and if you want to see the defeat and demilitarization of Russia, subscribe. We discuss all of that on the channel and share these videos. This is important. So, for a very long period of time, it was obvious that Russia is running out of soldiers. Russia is huge. Russia is known for its total disrespect to human life. That was one of the reasons they participated in big wars and demonstrated results. Not their creativity, not the innovations, not the technological advances. Let's be honest, even during the Second World War, it was the sacrifice of the Soviet people, with millions and millions Ukrainians then trapped in the USSR, and Lend-Lease from the United States. So Russia was prepared to sacrifice as many people as needed, but even with this attitude, actually reaching close to 1 million of lost Russians in Ukraine, they felt serious troubles, and there are vivid symptoms of that. Well, first of all, there are millions of reports of Russian contract soldiers, the ones that are mobilized or join the army by their own will, that the date disappeared from their contract. So literally a soldier that was signing a military contract with the Russian army did not have the end date. And attention please, they are not defenders of their motherland, they are invaders, and they were doing it for money. And here we come to the second problem of Putin's mobilization. They were paying a lot of money, but in Russian rubles. And with inflation, with growing prices, with this very insecure situation of the Russian currency, actually all of their income very quickly demonetized, lost its value. Of course, we are talking about this in the context that sanctions still exist, and you know, the White House does not share intelligence data with the Kremlin. But rumors say this is also possible. Subscribe to demonstrate your solidarity with Ukraine. We honestly need that. So also a lot of North Korean soldiers, it is of course, a signal that North Korea, China, Iran, they want to learn this military experience, real military experience that many American, European countries don't have. But at the same time, it is a sign of exhaustion, and they literally needed to order these victims from North Korea to help them back up Kursk region, and that did not work out. And another awful thing, and you might have watched that in Jake Bro's videos, he supports that with videos, Russian soldiers who actually complain about the lack of medical care. And once you are in the Russian army, no matter what happens to you, even if you're walking with a cane, you are still considered totally fit for army. This is also a signal they were on the edge. Why was Putin so afraid to start mobilization? Because it could actually reach the big cities where protests and some problems would be like 100 times more visible. In Russia, which is very large, they don't need new territories, and they actually have a lot of different nations imprisoned there. Putin solved the problem of his army by mobilizing people from far away, depressing regions where they literally did not have access to like any influence, any sign of this active civil life or something. And by the way, this is another war crime committed by him against these people of the now Russian Federation. This is something that resembles this very specified mobilization of specified ethnic groups that can cause troubles to Putin and to his image of the Ruski Mir. That is another thing we don't talk about. But no more people left to mobilize. Million, that's a lot. That's a lot. And it felt like the mobilization is needed. And actually, there were a couple of speeches where Putin was really close to that. And the reaction around him, his like criminal friends, they were very much against that because this is number one threat to his regime. So at this moment, when Russian economy is on the brink of the collapse, when we clearly see they need donkeys and scooters on the front lines, when we see that they don't have enough people in the army and North Korean soldiers did not solve the problem, when perhaps even China was exhausted with pumping them with all they need, at this moment we observe the greatest Superman savior coming from the White House. This is something I could not imagine. I am very grateful to all those people who leave comments saying that they had a different thought about Donald Trump and that right now they stand firm with Ukraine and they have changed their opinion. That matters. Also, I have to tell you the truth. I've learned so many bad words with you because many of you leave these names for Rubio, for Trump, and you are right, guys. Now, like sometimes I Google that word just like, and oh yeah, exactly. So thank you for that. And we do have to be very careful and very united. I'm very grateful that right now Europe is awakening and Americans believe Europe is your friend, Russia is not your friend. Even if Donald Trump does everything Putin wants, trust me, Putin will betray him and your country will be in trouble. It's not just like sacrificing minor countries, we will do big business. No, such attitudes, they are always punished, either by God or by consequences, but if it happens like that, you will feel that. What is also interesting, there are rumors, and these rumors were actually published in Politico, that the representatives of Trump are trying to talk with Ukrainian opposition to push for elections to substitute Zelensky, because Zelensky is not a person that will agree to sign capitulation with Russia. Let's speak openly. And he addressed Tymoshenko, perhaps, he addressed Poroshenko, and surprisingly, all of them said it's impossible to conduct elections, and we fully support Zelensky right now. After we win After the war ends, we will all become opponents again. And I don't know if you remember, but among these top substitutes, sometimes they mention Zaluzhny, who has a great support among people, who was our general commander and now is the ambassador of Ukraine to Britain. And it seems to me that even from the Trump's office, they were saying it. And I was so happy to see the speech of General Zaluzhny yesterday, where he stated that right now the United States undermine the world order, betray the allies, and actually tremendously weaken NATO. And once again, this is not the United States. This is not the people of America. This is Trump, Waltz, Musk, and Rubio. Moreover, I believe that Waltz and Rubio do it because they don't have this, spirit, don't have strength. But you don't have that many villains in the White House. You can do something. Please help us and help yourselves. Demonstrate support to Ukraine. This matters. I love you. I'm very grateful that I have you. Sometimes I feel really sad, honestly, guys, because apart from the things that we have to fight for, a part of all the stress that we experience, we have to keep debunking Russian lies, and now coming not from the Kremlin, but from the White House. It's very demotivating, and your comments, your love, your support is something that makes me feel way better. Thank you for that. United we stand. Slava Ukraini!